Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Dad Life. We're going to be starting a new series, and this will be the first installment of the series called Thunderbird Thoughts. We're going to take the Thunderbird for a drive and give you some thoughts on what's going on, life, and kind of, how classic car ownership relates to real life. And so let's go ahead and start her up. Taking the Thunderbird out. It's funny that it took 3 starts for it to get started today. It's a little cool here in Las Vegas this morning, and I find it just everything about this car seems to be like a metaphor for life, right? It's a little finicky sometimes. It doesn't like the cold. It took 3 times to start it. Isn't that how life is sometimes? I mean, think about you starting off in life. Did you get it right the first time? Maybe you did. I know I didn't. I've made mistakes along the way. I had to restart college at some point. I had to start a lot of things over again in life, and because I didn't learn the lessons right the first time. And that's okay. The biggest thing is, like this old car, she did start. With enough coaxing, she did start. And so usually that's how we are, right? With enough coaxing, with enough positive reinforcement, we get started too. And so it's interesting. The car makes some noises, it seems like, at high speeds. It's the vent windows. Vent windows are making some noise. That's okay. That's okay. It's going to be a little whistly. Maybe we should open the windows just a little bit to get rid of some of that noise. There we go. So, as we're driving the Thunderbird and taking in the sights and sounds of the world around us, I want you to think to yourself, have you been outside lately? Have you been outside? Have you experienced nature recently? My wife likes to go on walks and bike rides, and I like to take the Thunderbird for a drive. I like to get out and just kind of drive around the city a little bit. It's nice in these spring mornings when it's cool and clean, and sometimes you see people out running errands, and it's fun to see them as well. Getting outside helps us to quit thinking about ourselves, and it gets us to look at a bigger picture, a broader picture of the world around us, picture of the things that are going on around us. And that's good. Sometimes I think we get so wrapped up in our own little worlds that we forget to look around. And when we look around, what do we see? Do we like what we see? Do we think that it could be better? If so, what are we doing to improve the world around us? Are we doing anything to help make life a better place? Because if we're not, it can be argued that we're really wasting our time. And as we know, life is short. We get one shot here. And what are we doing with it? What are you doing with your life? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you doing what you feel you should be doing? If you are, great, keep doing it, because you're going to change some lives. If you're not doing what you feel you should be doing, you get out there and change something. Change the way you look at life, change what you're doing. Change can be scary. Change can be worrisome. But the people that I think make it through life successfully are those that aren't afraid of change. You can't be afraid of change. You can't be afraid of making mistakes. Some people might say buying a 55-year-old car was a mistake. I don't think it was. I think it's an adventure. And maybe it's something I'll only get to do once in this life. Maybe there will come a time where I have to sell the car and I won't be able to keep it. But, I can say that I did. And when you've done something like that, even if it turns out to be a mistake, that's okay. Because sometimes the adventure is in the mistake, not in the win. Sometimes we learn more from the mistakes than we do the wins. There we go. She's having trouble finding second gear. I think it's because she's missing a kickback return spring. Just found that out today. Thank you to Vintage Thunderbird Repair for his video on the throttle body assembly. I realized she's missing a spring, so I got to order that part. Right now, when I get to first and it starts to rev too high, if I double tap it, usually she'll kick into second gear. But I think for this first episode of Thunderbird Thoughts, if we take nothing else away from it, it's the idea that life is something to be lived, life is something to be enjoyed, life is something we only do once. And so let's make the most of it. Let's make mistakes. I really love the Magic School Bus, Miss Frizzle. Make mistakes, get dirty, learn something, And that's what we're all trying to do. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fight for your dreams. And don't be afraid to change something. Just because you've spent a long time making a mistake, don't procrastinate fixing it. And I think that's probably some of the best advice I can give you for this week. I hope you enjoyed this first and short episode of Thunderbird Thoughts as we take the 66 Thunderbird for a drive and kind of put her through her paces and enjoy her a little bit. Enjoy her for what she is as we talk together and enjoy life together. If you like what we're doing, like and subscribe to the channel. And make some comments. Let me know some thoughts you'd like to hear my opinion on, or some things you'd like me to discuss on Thunderbird Thoughts. And we'll incorporate them into the next episode. We'll see you next time.